Happy New Year! Yay! I'm so excited today. We are gonna be trying out some brand new products that I just got. A lot of these I've been using for just a couple of weeks, so I've had some time to kind of feel what they feel like. I've been using them outdoors. I kind of know how they last throughout the day, and some of them I'm trying out for the very first time today with you guys. So if you are interested, then keep on watching. I don't actually have time to do this today, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Start off with my Power Grip Primer by e.l.f. I'm not sure how I feel about this yet, to be honest. Just got it, and it feels so sticky. It feels like I'm putting on Elmer's glue. I'm not even kidding you. Like the texture, it reminds me of Elmer's glue. And to me, that's just not a comfortable, it's just not a comfortable feeling. I don't like it, but I bought it, and so I'm gonna keep giving it a try. I don't know if I've actually noticed a difference either in like whether it keeps my product on, like my foundation, but I don't even know if you can hear it. It just is like it's so gross. It's like squishy. Ugh. Not my favorite product. But if that sort of thing doesn't bother you, then you probably will love it. I'm gonna keep trying it out just until I figure out if I can stand it. I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna go in with my NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I'm in the color L4, also known as Deauville, I guess. You wanna shake the bottle really well before you apply. I'm just gonna pop 2 pumps of it on there. And I'm just gonna start stippling this on. So one of the things I really do like about this foundation, I just started using it. I love that it's really lightweight and it does have buildable coverage, which I love foundations that have buildable coverage because sometimes I want to have skin-like foundation on, and sometimes I want to have a fuller coverage, something that covers a little bit more. Like if I'm going out, today we're going to the movies, so I don't need to be full glam. I just want something to cover a lot of like the age spots and the redness and darkness that I have around my under eyes and stuff. So that's what I love about this foundation, is it definitely has a more natural look. And then I can go in with another pump or two and make it a lot more full coverage. All right, I'm gonna go in with my NARS Radiant, oh my God, I always get this wrong. I really need to write this down. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's Creamy Radiant, the Radiant Creamy Concealer. It's a Radiant Creamy something. I'll put it in the description. And I am in the color Light 2.3. Now, I usually don't put this much concealer on. I don't know why I'm doing it today, but whatever, I'm kind of feeling it. I'm using my Bellamy, I don't know what this is, powder brush, something brush. I think I need to start writing everything down before I come on video. So I'm gonna press this on underneath my eyes. I find that pressing the products on really helps the longevity. When you're swiping products like this, you're just moving the product. By pressing the product in one spot, it's going to just help the product have more coverage in that area. So when it comes to concealer, you obviously want a lot of coverage wherever you're putting it because you're trying to conceal whatever's under there. You're also obviously, like, you can use concealers for highlight and contour and stuff like that, but in this case I am trying to cover up my dark under eye circles, so that's why I press the product in, because I want that concealer to stay where it is. All right, so in my stocking this year, Santa brought me 2 really cool products, Wet n Wild Contour and Blush Stick. I've never used these before, so I'm actually really excited to try them out. This contour stick is in the color 806 Wears Walnut. All right, so I'm gonna show you the 2 different ways that I personally like to use cream and blush kind of products on my skin. So the first way I like to apply is with the brush. This one specifically is more rounded, so I really like this one. I'll link this set below where you can get this brush. They're very, very soft, they blend really well, and they're super, super inexpensive, very affordable. I personally love to put on contour, and this is also the way that I put it on my clients and on myself, is I take a brush and I just sweep it on the product here, And then from here, I'm able to locate where I want to put it, and I can be very, very precise in my application. So I'm going to go ahead and start right where I want to place it, and I'm just going to pat the product on. I think that's why I like this brush so much, because it's rounded. I feel like it just fits perfectly into that little contour of like that hollow, the cheek. I just feel like the shape of this brush is really nice. If you like drawing on your contour, then I would suggest using a sponge to blend it out. This also, by the way, you guys, is not wet. I was very lazy and I didn't go wet it. It probably is better that it's dry. It seems to be blending this out nicely. So I think maybe with this product specifically, I would use a dry beauty blender to blend it out. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face using that same technique. All right, so the only thing that I'm gonna do left to do is I'm just gonna flip this brush over. I'm just gonna use the tip of it to put some product on so that I can then contour my nose. And this is probably a humongous brush for it, but I just wanna show you guys different options that you have. I'm gonna just lightly brush up against the edge of my nose and then on the bottom. Again, I'm just going to the movies. I'm not trying to be all like Miss America over here, but I do like to contour the certain areas of my face because it looks pretty. It looks natural. It's just like a sun-kissed look. I'm not trying to go for like something crazy. And then I'm gonna take my beauty blender and I'm just gonna blend out the areas of my face. All right, there you go. What do you guys think? Honestly, I would compare this to like my NARS Laguna bronzer. And that bronzer, that Laguna bronzer is really expensive. This was like $3 or something. I'll check and see what the price was for this, but in comparison to my Laguna bronzer, I would say this is almost this, it's a similar texture. I feel like it's very blendable. I really like the coverage. I think it's super pretty and soft. I'm not trying to get like a really crazy contour, so I think this is really nice for just going to the movies or going out to run errands. All right, next item is our blush. So this is the same Wet n Wild makeup stick, and it is the blush. The really cool thing about these sticks is you can twist them, they go up, twist them back down. I'm gonna go ahead and show you two different ways that you can use this blush. First way is, like most people do, is just kind of add product on here, okay? And then you can use your finger to blend this out. I really like using my finger for cream products because the warmth of your finger really just kind of blends that product in naturally. It looks really, really pretty. So this is really pretty. I do like it. It's not as dark. I would go as far as to say I kind of feel like this reminds me of the Huda Beauty one that I have. You can also use the same exact technique that we did with our contour, which is to put the blush on your brush and then you can place it wherever you want. Again, I think I like this the best. I feel like the pigmentation you can see a lot more versus using your finger. But if you're in a pinch and you don't have whatever brush you need, you can always use your fingers. So this is such a pretty formula. I really, really love how this looks. So natural, it's super glowy. I actually really, really like this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and set the under eye and my T-zone. I'm gonna be using my Mary Kay Translucent Loose Powder. This is also a newer sponge that I just got, you guys, and I don't know if I love it either. So far, I feel like it's a little pricey for what it is. It is so soft. I think I've loved it so far for putting on just like regular pressed powder. Like if I'm not putting any foundation on. If I just want like to put powder on really quick and I want it to be a little bit more full coverage, then I like it. So I've been trying to use this more for like setting my T-zone. I don't know. I just don't know if it's worth the money. For what it does, it's no different than like my powder puff or like this guy here, which I got at CVS for like $3 or something. They're super inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon too. And compared to the Beauty Blender, which is about, I don't know, $20. It is very soft. I just don't know if it makes a difference. I can't tell like a humongous difference. And I think that's why I feel like I'm not sure if the value is there. All right, so now that my T-zone is done, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Mary Kay Compact with my 2 pressed powders. I have Beige 1 and Bronze 2, and I'm going to set the rest of my face, and then I'm going to bronze. For blush, I'm using my Patrick Star MAC Blush Bronzer Duo, and this is in the color I'm Not Blushing. All right, so Santa also brought me a new highlight. Sorry, this is not a highlight. This is a Duo Luxury Brow Powder. This is from a company called Arches and Halos. I've never heard of them before. It's by Tanya Crooks. I got it at CVS, so it is drugstore brand. I've never heard of it. I thought, why not? So we got this right here. It's the Brow Duo in the color Neutral Brown. This is the Precision Brow Shaping Pencil in the color Dark Brown. And then I also got their water resistant brow gel. I kind of like this because of the brush. Look at how small it is. This brush is super, super tiny. So I just thought that I would try it out because I was kind of curious about it. I've been having a really hard time with my brows lately, and I think it's because there are so many trends right now with brows. And I'm gonna be honest, like, I kind of like my old school, very like sharp, very precise brows. So I'm having a really hard time with these new like feathered brows, and there's so many different styles of brows now. But I think the most important part about brows is to do whatever you feel most comfortable with and whatever you like for your face. And for me, I like a precise brow. So I also really, really love pencil. I've used pencil brows for the really, really long time. I feel like they last a really long time. So I used to use the Mary Kay brow pencil. As a matter of fact, I still have like a bunch of them. It's the one that I love to use the most, but they discontinued them. So I kind of was like, well, I'm gonna try out a different option maybe. I know I'm going through this pretty quickly, but I do plan on doing a full series on brows and all the different ways that you can do them, including different products that you can use to get your desired brow shape. Okay, so once I basically carve out sort of the shape that I want with the brow pencil, I go in with the powder and I fill in any sparse areas in my brow. So anything that I kind of missed with the pencil, I just basically blend it out with the powder. So the really cool thing about this is that it has 2 different shades. I like to use the lighter shade on the inner part of my brow, and then obviously the darker shade on the outer part. Sometimes I do go right in the middle and just mix the 2 and then just use that all over. So I think it just depends on the kind of look I'm going for. All right, lastly, I am taking the brow gel, and I'm just gonna sweep this over my brows. Starting with the inner part, I'm just kind of flicking it up. And then on this outer part, I kind of brush them more out. And then I'm just gonna take it and run it along the edge so that there's nothing kind of sticking out. Although that is kind of the style right now, having that like prickly brow. I like to call it prickly brow because it looks like they're like cactus prickles things, whatever. Okay, so that's one eye. Let's do the other. All right, guys, I'm gonna finish my mascara and my lips off camera, and I'll be right back with final thoughts. All right, we are back with my final thoughts. So, starting off with the Power Grip Primer by e.l.f. I don't know. I think that it's a great concept because I feel like the foundation will really stick to this really well because it literally feels like glue. I mean, what wouldn't stick to glue, right? I just feel like the texture and the feeling on the face is so unpleasant. If you're okay with that, it does go away. Your face doesn't feel sticky, you know, the rest of the day or anything like that. So it's just that initial point of contact on your face. Almost like if you've ever had special effects done and you have the sticky glue, like the actual tacky glue to glue prosthetics on, that's kind of the feeling that you get, but it's just all over your face as a primer. So I'm not really sure if I will repurchase this product. As a makeup artist, I would never ever use this on a client. I feel like it's just not pleasant and the experience is just not great. So use it for yourself. I personally would never use this in my kit. The second product that I used was my new NARS foundation. I really love this. I love the coverage. I love that it's super lightweight. My skin still feels like skin. It doesn't feel like I have a whole lot of foundation on, but I do feel like it is enough to cover like dark spots. I did have a little bit like that pinky kind of thing going on up here, which it didn't fully cover, but that's okay. I didn't want like a full coverage foundation, and I honestly didn't even think to put concealer on it. But other than that, I really love this for like an everyday kind of just like natural glowy look. Going on to the contour and blush sticks by Wet n Wild. I love these. I was like pleasantly surprised, especially for the price point. They feel really good going on. They blend really well. I really feel like if my blush kind of started to come off throughout the day, the powder, I feel like this would still give me some type of color there. So that's really nice. And I really did like how they blended out. For the price, I think you can't beat it. So definitely, I would probably repurchase more. The NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer is a newer concealer that I've been testing out. I do really like it. I don't feel like it's super duper full coverage. I do feel like you do need to put on several layers almost for it to be full coverage, which I don't personally like. Obviously, the more concealer you keep packing on under your eyes, it's just gonna crease up. So you wanna have a very light application under there anyway. For a very light, natural coverage, I think this would be really great. I do have these in my kit, and I have them for pretty much more mature skin or people who don't really have very dark under eye circles and just kind of need that little bit of concealer. I love using this on those types of skin types and for that kind of coverage. So really great. I do really enjoy it. It feels very breathable. It's very natural looking. So definitely would try this out. All right, some of the other products that I tried out were the Arches and Halos brow products. I really do like the pencil, but I do feel it's a little patchy. When you put it on, it definitely has really good pigment, but it does have a little bit of a like patchiness. So sometimes there'll be like spots in random places where the product doesn't go on. The one thing I did like though is that you can flip it. I love that it has this brush. This brush isn't very hard. It's a little bit more soft. So I really like that it was able to blend the product out in those patchy areas. But I wouldn't just use this by itself. I did need to go in with the powder to actually fill in those areas. The powder is great. I do love the powder. I feel like it does have really good pigment. I feel like it did kind of fill in the areas that were missing some pigmentation from the pencil. So I would be using these two together if I were to use it, or just this by itself. I probably wouldn't use the pencil on its own, which kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. Sometimes I do like to just go in with the pencil by itself and then be done. So I feel like you'd have to use both. I might have to play with it a little bit more since it is a newer product. I might have to just go in and play with it some more and see if I could figure out how to use the pencil on its own. But I do feel like it's a little, like I said, it's a little patchy. As far as the brow gel goes, oh my God, this thing is like hairspray for sure. It is super, what is even the word? It is super like glue. It's like glue. It's like the Power Grip Primer for your brows, okay? So the one thing I noticed is if you are not finished with your brows, don't put this on because it's really hard to do any corrections and stuff once you put this on. Once this is on, like your brows are done. They are very, you can see and feel that they are very like stuck, which I love. I mean, that's the whole point of a brow gel, is to really make sure that the brows are like that they're not going anywhere. It is water resistant, which I love, especially right now. It's kind of a rainy day today. So if I go out and it starts to pour on my face, I know my brows are gonna be just as sleek as they were when I left the house. I definitely like them. I do feel like if you don't brush them down a certain way, they give you the prickly brow like I talked about. But other than that, I do feel like it really does, they stay. I do love the brush too. I love that the brush is so small. It just lets you have that really precise, I don't know, I like it. I like it. Would I repurchase this? I don't know, 50-50. I'll have to keep using it in order to see. I'm not sure if I would actually repurchase this, but I am enjoying it. All right, so finally we come to the Beauty Blender sponge. Love, hate. Love, hate. I don't know. Like I said, if I have a pressed powder that I'm using and I rub this all over and then I put it on my face and that's it, that's all I'm using it for, I do like it. I do like it because it does get the product on. It really kind of spreads it all very well. But as far as, gosh, I just don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if there's a difference like between that and, like I said, my like regular sponge. I don't know. I've had this now for quite some time and I just don't know if I love it. I almost returned it. I wouldn't recommend this to my mom or my sister or to a friend. Like I wouldn't be like, you have to go get this. It would be kind of one of those splurges just to have a really nice puff. So yeah, I would say I definitely wouldn't repurchase this. I guess you'll just have to try it for yourself if you're that interested in seeing if you like it. If you've used this blending sponge and you like it, let me know what your favorite ways of using it. Maybe I'm not using it right. Maybe I'm not using it for the right purpose. I don't know. But if you use it, let me know in the comments below and how you use it. All right, guys, that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this and I hope that this somehow helped you out to find some brand new products. A lot of these products are from the drugstore. You can also get them at Ulta. So I really hope that you enjoyed this. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. That lets me know that the content I'm creating is what you want to see. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification button so that you never miss an upload. And I can't wait to see you on my next one. Bye.